few months back, I made a tutorial about making a 2D platformer using inheritance and components, and you guys liked it, so I decided to do a remake of the 2D platformer as a mobile game. In this tutorial, you'll learn how to create a simple level select screen, a pause screen, TouchScreenButton to control our character movement, how to save and load the game, and more. Stick to the end and you'll have created your first mobile 2D game. You can find a link to the asset files and startup folder down in the description. In this chapter, I'm going to show you how to download and install the Godot engine on your computer. So the first thing I want you to do is open up your browser and head over to godotengine.org. On this page, you can download the latest version of Godot currently. At the time of recording the 2D platformer video, the project was done on Godot version 4.0.1. To run the project, you either require any Godot version 4.0 or rebuild the project from scratch. Video link in the description. So let's go ahead and download Godot version 4.0. On this page, you can download Godot 4.2.1, which is the latest version of Godot 3, or this link, which takes us to this page where you can download any official release of the Godot engine. So let's download Godot 4.0.1 for Windows or whichever supported platform you use. Alright, now look at your download folder. After downloading the Godot engine and the 2D platformer file, we will need to import the project file into the Godot editor. To do that, you will need to extract the zipped file, then double click to open the Godot executable file. Now we will need to import our project. Click the import button and you need to navigate to the file you extracted. The end folder contains the completed project from the platformer video. Then you can click import and edit to open the Godot editor where you can get started. Now before we begin working on our mobile game, I would like to do a quick project overview. We will start with the player, which can move both the left and right direction, as well jump and stomp on enemies. The player takes damage whenever it falls or collides with the enemy or land on spikes. After a few seconds, the player is being revived and respawned back to its starting position. Then we implemented two enemy AIs, a patrol enemy, the opossum, which just moves in a certain direction until it hits a wall or finds nowhere to walk on and then changes its direction. Oh, and also it avoids spikes. Then we also have a frog, which, just a frog. It jumps and attacks the player whenever the player reaches a certain range. Last off, we have levels, which I already created two for the sake of the tutorial. Of course, there are other aspects like collectibles, platform, which you should check out and see how they are implemented. But if you find yourself stuck, then you can watch the platformer video where I explained how it works. But with that, let's begin with learning how to export our game. Head over to developer.android.com/studio. On this page, you are going to download the Android Studio application. Click download and you can read through the terms and conditions. Scroll down and agree to it and click on download. Once you've downloaded the application, you can install it, which is easy. You can check out their documentation on getting started with Android Studio, specifically on installing the Android Studio application. Next, you are going to download OpenJDK. You can find a link in the description, or you can check the Godot documentation on exporting for Android in the Install JDK section. Click the link which will redirect you to this page, and you can download the one specific for your system. I'm going to download the one for Windows 64-bit. Now to install, double click the setup file, click next, then I'll change this to install the entire feature on my local hard drive and install. Once that's done, open your command prompt and we are going to install a debug Keystore. These are used by Android applications to prevent users from accessing data they aren't meant to. Head over to Godot's doc and look for exporting for Android and look for the create a debug Keystore section, and you are going to copy this snippet and paste it in your terminal, then hit enter. This is going to generate a debug Keystore in the current path you are in your terminal. I'm in a folder which I renamed to debug Keystore and already have an existing Keystore file in the folder. Moving on, you should open up your Android Studio application. Next, open up the SDK manager and look for the Android SDK section. Here, you want to make sure you have the latest release of the Android SDK installed. At the time of recording, that is Android 12 with an API level of 32. I also have 7.0, but you don't need it. Next, head to the SDK Tools tab. You want to ensure you install the right package for whichever Godot version you're currently using. As mentioned earlier, I'm using Godot version 4.0.1, so I'm making use of the 4.0 documentation. I'm going to install the packages listed here. Once you select the right packages, click on Apply to install. Once you're done installing the packages, be sure to copy the Android SDK location as it's going to be needed later on. Going on, open up your Godot editor, select Editor, Manage Export Template, and here you are going to download an export template if you don't have one. As you can see, I have mine installed. If you don't, just click the download and install button. Then go to Editor, Editor Settings, scroll all the way to the bottom until you find Android. And now you need to configure your Android SDK path and debug Keystore. You can paste the Android SDK which you copied earlier on as its path. Next is the debug Keystore, which is at the location you created it before. Just navigate to that path and select your debug Keystore. With all that, finally, we can now export our game. Go to Project, Project Setting, and we'll add a new preset. Alright, now the export menu tells us to enable etc2, which is used by mobile device for different formats of texture compression. Go to Project Settings and search for etc2, which is in the rendering texture section. Enable this and click Save and restart the project. So once the editor is back, open up the export menu, then uncheck this and check this. Enabling this allows your game to run on a wide range of Android devices, including older ones. Lastly, you need to configure a package name. The unique name typically is a reverse domain notation such as com.example.mygame. The unique name ensures that your game package name is unique among all other apps on your device. Next is the name, which is what your user will see when they install your game on your device. Finally, simply select the Export Project button and specify the location where you want to save your game. You can then transfer the APK file to your mobile device for testing. However, manually sharing the file to your device can be time consuming, so we will use a feature in Godot called the one-click deploy. This makes testing our game easier with just a single click. Connect your device to your computer. In the top right corner, the Android icon next to the Run Sim button icon should become active. If this isn't your case, you probably haven't activated the developer mode in your Android device. To activate, open up your device settings and scroll till you find the About Phone section. Then look for the build number and keep tapping until the developer mode has been activated. Now, if you connect your device to your computer, you should see the Android icon active. Just select your phone from the drop-down menu and the game should run on your Android device. Now the game is running on my Android device. However, we have these black bars by the left and right side of our screen, so let's fix that. Once again, open up the project setting window and open the Boot Splash tab. This is what will be shown until the first scene of your game is ready to run. I will specify the path to my Boot Splash image, which should be a PNG file. I'm also going to change the background color. Then we'll open the Windows tab. We'll set the Windows width and height to 1280 and 720. By default, Godot is configured to use the landscape mode. Next is the VSync mode, which makes your game look smoother by syncing how often the screen updates with how fast your monitor can show those updates. Disabling VSync can potentially improve the frame rate, but may also lead to screen tearing, especially if you are working on a fast-paced game. But in our case, it's alright to leave this disabled. Lastly, you want to set the stretch mode to canvas item and aspect to expand. You can visit the official documentation to learn more on supporting multiple resolution for your game. Last, open up the pointing tab in the input device section and enable the emulate touch for mouse button, which simulates touch inputs using your mouse. Once you run on your device, the game should be properly stretched with no black bars. But now our main screen needs fixing, so let's work on that. Let's start working on our main scene, and we'll remove any unnecessary node we don't need here. We're only going to leave the title up, and I'm going to set the title to the center top, and let's drag this down a little. Okay, say 100 or 70. All right, then I'm going to add a vertical box container and set this to the center and add a texture button and as a child a label. Then we're going to create a new Atlas texture, and in our asset folder we'll drag the bottom.png file to the Atlas property. Then we'll edit its region, set this to auto slice, and select the normal button texture. And we're going to do this for the pressed and hover. All right, and down we'll toggle on the ignore texture button and stretch mode to keep aspect centered. Then we'll toggle on the expand property in the container sizing. Okay, and let's resize this. So drag the vertical box container. All right, and we'll set the label to take its full rect and the horizontal and vertical alignment to the center. Then I'm going to add a font. We'll make use of Kenny Bold. Then let's say play. Set its font size to, let's say, 47. What's that we should do? Nice. Right there. And its color, let's add a font outline. And change the font outline to maybe something a little darker. Yeah. Next, 13. All right. Delete this and duplicate this again. Set its text to exit. Okay, let's resize this. Give it to the bottom, the center bottom, and just drag this up to, let's see, 300. Yeah. Okay, this looks good. Now going to the script and just expand this, and we're going to delete this line of code right here. Don't need this anymore. I'm going to declare an onReady variable. So onReady var same tree, and we get tree. I'll rename this from next level to level selecting, since that's the next thing you want to go to when the player clicks the play button. But we don't have our level selecting set up yet, so we'll just make use of the level 1 for now. Then going to copy this and paste this right here, paste this here too, and change this to century. All right, then let's rename this node to play button and this to our exit button, and we're going to connect the button down signal to our script. So play button down, connect, and for our exit button too. All right, and just copy this and paste it right here. We'll delete this function. Okay, So when the player press the play button down, we want to change the thing to the level select or whatever is stored right there. And when the exit button is clicked, we want to quit our game. Okay, now all we just need to do is, let's say, add our level 1 thing and drag it right here. Once you run the game title and buttons UI should be properly aligned in your screen, and clicking the play button should load and run the level 1 scene. This looks amazing. However, we currently don't have any way of controlling the player, so let's work on the touch screen buttons. In the File System tab, we're going to look for our player scene and we'll open that. Then we're going to add a canvas layer node, and as a child of the canvas layer, we'll add a touch screen button. Then I'm going to rename this to our move left button, and for the texture, I'm going to create a new Atlas texture, and in our asset folder, I'll drag the button.png to the Atlas property, and now set the snap mode to auto slice, and we'll look for our move left button. Right, so there is this, yep, and create a new Atlas texture like this, and we'll click here. So the texture pressed. All right, now I'm just going to drag this texture button right here. So let's, yep, I think this is okay. And now we're going to create a new shape and add a new rectangle shape 2D, and I think this is 181, 189. Right. So we've added a collision shape for our move left button. And for the action, you can just make use of the action from the input map. So if you go to your project setting, input map, you should see it right here. So our move left, just put that as its action, and we're going to do the same for the right and jump. So just rename this to move right button, make unique, edit its region, right? Now I'm just going to move our move right, let's say 300. Right, 300 is too much. 240 should do it. Yep. And now lastly, our jump button. So a touch screen button again. Just duplicate this and we'll say jump button, and we'll change its texture. So I think jump button is over here. So normal and click. Great. And I'm going to rename the action to jump and move this over here. Nice. Once you run the game, with the touchscreen button, you should be able to control the character to move left, right, or jump. However, you may have noticed that the jump button isn't positioned properly. Actually, it is because we had set the jump button to be positioned 1040 pixels on our screen, which it was. On my PC, which has a display ratio of 1366 by 768, this is how it looks like. However, on my mobile device, which has a resolution of 1612 by 720, this is how it looks like. And you can see the huge distance the jump button is away from the screen end. Though, to fix this, we simply need a node that can reposition our touchscreen button based on the device resolution. And as you may have probably already guessed it, we will make use of a control node. By adding the touchscreen button as a child of the control node, the touchscreen button should be positioned properly regardless of the device or resolution of our screen. So you are going to add as a child of the canvas layer a control node. Then you're going to add the move left button as a child of the control node. Then going to set the move the control anchor to the bottom left, right? Then I'm going to, okay, yes, then let's reset our button's position, and I'm going to change the controls position as well. So I think that was around like 4500, and with that our button should be properly placed on our screen. Now I'm just going to rename this node to move left anchor, and now we're going to do this for both the right and jump button. Actually, now I'm going to save this to the bottom right and drag this here. Okay, reset its position and transform 500 just going to keep going. Mm, 50, yeah. So all done, and just rename this to jump anchor. And last off, let's change our camera zoom property. So back to your level 1 scene, go to your camera 2D, and we'll change the zoom to, let's say, 5. Right? With that, all the touch screen buttons should be positioned properly on the screen. In the next chapter, we'll work on the level select screen for the game. Alright, so let's begin working on our level select screen. And the first thing I'm going to do is add a texture button node. And this is because we want to create a level box that is numbers, the level that are selected. I'm going to rename this node to level box, and for its texture, we're going to create a new atlas texture, and in our assets folder, we're going to drag our button.png. Right, then change a snap mode to auto slice, and yeah, so select this as the button. Okay, so just click on ignore the texture size, and I'm going to give this to keep aspect centered. All right, then in the layout, we're going to change the custom minimum size to 50, 50. Yeah, and of course going to where I should save this resource. Going to save probably then just create the other atlas. We drag this here, and now for hover, go to the PNG, over texture, and lastly is the disabled. And for our disabled, we are going to be choosing this one with the padlock icon, right? So this is going to be our disabled, and what this disabled is going to be for is when we haven't unlocked a level. So we're just going to disable the texture button. right. I'll go to the container sizing and toggle both the horizontal and vertical expand property to on, and just increase this a little bit. We'll add a label node and just say 1 and let the label take the full rect of the texture. We'll set both the vertical and horizontal alignment to the center, and we'll just increase its size. Let's say 40. Add a font in bold. We'll add a font outline. This. This will be darker. Yeah. Right. Just reduce the size a little. I think 30 is fine. So let's now save this. We're going to save this thing in our user interface. Create a new folder. We'll call this folder level select. Save. We'll add a new script and get rid of all these lines of code. The first thing we want to do is define a signal, and this signal is going to be emitted whenever the level has been selected, right? So if the button is being pressed, meaning the user wants to play on that level, then we'll define a export variable locked. So this is going to be used to know if the level is locked or unlocked. And we'll create a setter. I will say locked is equals to the value, right? Then we'll define another export variable which is going to hold the level number. So just set this to 1, and now we'll define a function. Let's say this is going to determine the level state, and this is going to receive a just this. Right. So this is going to receive a Boolean variable. And void. Then if the level state, that means if the level is unlocked, that's what we want to write. So if the level is, if the value, let's just say if the value being passed is true, that means the level isn't unlocked and the level is locked, as you can see here. And we want to set the button to disabled. And then we're also going to say our label dot visibility. I'm going to change its visibility to the opposite, right? So if our level is locked, we want our label to be invisible. But if it's unlocked, make the text visible. Then we'll declare another function. We'll say level underscore unlocked. And we'll just call the level state and pass false as the argument. And then we're going to say label dot text is equals to string level number. Okay, then I think right here we're going to say we want to call the level unlock method if the level is locked, else level, sorry, this is supposed to be level locked, which we haven't written here. So we want to call the level locked method if the level is locked, and if the level isn't, we call the level unlocked method. So let's define our level locked function. And we'll just say the level state is equals to true. All right, now we are going to connect the button press signal, or let's connect the button down. I think that should be better. And we'll say press connect. And when this is pressed, we want to emit our level selected signal, and we'll pass the level number as its argument. Okay, so with that, let's declare. If I close this again, we should see our level box working properly. All right, so locked. Okay. This is supposed to be value, not true. Yeah, so you can say it right here now. We have our level box completed, and now let's begin working on our level select screen. So add a control node, you name this to level select, and then we're going to add a texture rect. We want to use this for our background, and let this take the full rect, name this to background, and I'm going to drag the bg.png to the texture property, width, no size, and yeah, so we have our background, and Now I'm going to add a texture button, and this is going to be used to go back to our main screen, right? Mm. And we can leave disabled out since we pretty much don't need it. We'll toggle on the ignore texture property and keep this centered. All right. Let's make this big little. And then maybe so here should be good. All right. We have our home button set up. Next up, let's add a texture rect and a texture rect, and this is going to be for the total amount of coins we have to our money. Set this to top right, and for the texture, actually not the button, it's actually window. So drag window.png right here, edit region, and that should be somewhere around here. So this, okay. Now going to ignore size. Think keep with proportional. Nope. Yeah. Okay, so somewhere around here, and then we'll add a label, and the label, of course, is going to be used to display the amount of coin we have, and we're just going to drag this right here, but we just want the text to take this box size. And I'm just going to place a pin right here and change the horizontal and vertical alignment to center. All right. Just need to change the theme override 20 or all right. Yeah, I think that's fine. Now I'm going to add a texture rect, and this is going to be for our level select window. Yep, so this is what we want to work on right now. So let's select this. Wait, ignore size, do this properly. Make sure it's centered. Okay. Now we need to add a texture right again. Now this one is going to be for the text. So create a new Atlas texture and drag the windows.png to the Atlas property. Then we're just going to change the snap mode. So change the snap mode to grid snap and just snap this entire text right here. Great. Now we can just move this down a little, and you can see this is placed perfectly. And finally, we just need to create our let's say level grid. I'm just going to rename this to level, I'll say texture. Right. So add a grid container into level grid, and this we just want it to need to drag this so it does cover this specific area of our level box, right? Then you can use the anchors to pin the edges. Nice. Then now you can just instance your level box, and okay, we need to change the columns, let's say 5, and keep on duplicating this level box. You should have your level select screen ready to go. So great. Yep. Now, of course, this isn't going to show level 2. We still have to work on that, which is what we want to do now. But make sure to save your scene. I think that is all. Let me just remove the text right here, and let's start working on the script. So first off, we're going to define an onReady variable. So for our scene tree, we'll call the getTree method, and let's set, so when the game starts, whenever we enter our level select scene, we want to set how many the coin we have. And lucky for us, I think we have something like that in our on-screen UI. Yeah, so we have a total coin variable, which is an auto load. So this is an auto load, and we can make use of that. So let's get the ready the morning label on text field label to declare a ready function. And okay, so first off, let's connect the level selected button, the level selected signal of each box. So say connect level selected to level box. Right, now we just need to define a function. So from is this right here. And we'll say for box in I'm going to set this as a unique name, so it's easier for us to access. Level grid, let's try this here. Level grid, let's get its children, and we'll say box dot connect the signal name level selected, and we want to connect that to a method to change our scene, right? So guys, we want to play the game. Let's define our change to scene method. So change to scene, just place this right here, and this is going to receive the level number as its argument, as a parameter. Right, then we say events dot current level is equals to the level number, and we need to define this value right here. So current underscore level means is equals to 0, and yeah, we also need a fade screen. So you can either make use of a, what's it called again? I think it's a load screen, or in our case, we're going to make use of a fade screen, which we already have. Let me just, so I think that's fader.tsn. All right. We need to, we are going to need to modify this script a little. We need, I want the fade screen to be able, we can pass a duration on how long we want the fade screen to last, right? And let's see where I will just a duration. All right, great. I'm going to say fader dot, I think the method is fade screen to fader, and we'll call the fade screen method, and then the first argument fade to black, yes, will pass through duration, let's say 1.0, and as the callable, which we're going to just say simply dot change scene to file, and then you can make use of the paths. We're going to pass the paths on our level folder. So let's just make use of this. So we'll convert the level number, argument to a string, and then we are going to load that scene if it's available. Let's connect the home button press signal, the button down signal. So when the home button is being pressed, we want to go back to our main menu and change thing to file back to our main screen. All right, and now let's go back to our on-screen UI. I'm going to get rid of this setters function as we don't need it anymore. Then we want to create one last variable, which is level data, and this is going to hold if this is going to hold data like every level number and if they are unlocked or not. Then we also need a signal on when our level is completed. So back to the level select. On our ready function, we'll check if the event dot level data is empty, and if this is empty, we want to call a method to set up the level box. Else, then we want to look through the okay, so I've set that already. Dot get children. We want to look through the level grid, and then we are going to set a level number and set if it's unlocked or not. We'll say box dot level num is equals to box dot get underscore index, right? So this is going to get the index of the level box respective to its parent. So like this, now this is going to be 0. This is going to be 1, 2, and 3, and it goes on like that. And because of that, we need to add one more. So we're going to add 1. And then we are going to say box dot locked is equals to event dot level data dot get, and we'll get the box index, get index, and we'll add 1. All right, and don't forget the morning label dot text. We want to set a text for our morning label once the game is started, and pass the total coin value. Let's create the function for this. Now this function is going to return a void. The event dot current level is equals to level number. Actually, we'll delete this line of code. We want to actually look through the box. So we look through the level grid, but get its children. So looking through each level box, we'll set their value level underscore num is equals to box dot get underscore index plus 1, and they are going to set every box log to true. All right, true. And once we're done looking through all this, we want to set unlock the first level, right? Because we need a level to play so we can actually progress. And we'll just get the first child of the level grid, right? So that should be our level one. And we'll set lock to false. Alright, so lastly, we are going to open up the safe house scene and remove the canvas layer node and its child. Then in the script, we want to display the level completed screen once the level is completed. So we'll remove these lines of code. Then once we have validated that the body is the player, we'll emit the event level completed signal. Now open up your main scene and we want to drag the level select scene to the level select scene property. Now let's run the game and test out our level select screen. Alright, so if we click the play button, it takes us to our level select screen and level 1 is unlocked for us to play, with the others locked. We can go back to the main screen. Let's play level 1. Great, so everything seems to be working fine. In the next chapter, we'll begin working on the pause and level complete screen for the game. Alright, welcome back, and right now we want to work on a pause screen for our mobile game. And to do that, we'll need to open up our HUD scene. So look for your HUD scene, which should be in the user interface folder. Open this, and we'll need to make some changes here. So first off, we're going to add a control node, and this control node is going to be our new um, main scene node, main scene root node, right? So you can do that by right clicking and selecting the make scene root um, control. And now our control node is the root node of this scene. And I'm going to rename this to HUD. Okay. Then this to health coin container. Now I'm going to detach the script and attach it to this, to our root node. We also want to extend from a control node. So let's just set that so we don't forget to do that later on. Now I'm going to make this take the full rect. All right. And we will need to make some changes, like one, as you can see, the coin, the icon and the text, they are way too far. Also the cherry, which represent our heart, is way too small. So first off, select the health box container, and we're going to change the alignment to end. Then our container sizing, let's take a look at that. I'm going to stretch our heart so it takes more space than the coin. So change the stretch mode to 1.5, and you're going to see the difference very soon. Then our cherry, we'll open our cherry scene. Then I'm going to change the custom minimum size, right? Going to change this to 60, then save this, and that should do. We'll go to our point container node. Going to also change this to end, and yep. Now let's select the texture rate. We'll change the expand mode to keep its width proportional, right? And we're going to toggle off the expand property. Then we're also going to toggle off the expand property for the um, label, and now you can see our point and label text are aligned at the end. All right, great. With that, we can increase this, so we can just drag the size down. Then I can increase the size of our health coin container UI. I think this good. Yeah, yeah. Now let's add a new node. We're going to add a texture button. I want to use this for our pause button. So rename to pause button. Then for its texture, we're going to create a new atlas texture and drag the button to the atlas property. Then we want to snap, which I'm going to use with, right? So yeah, and just do for the rest. All right. So now we have all our button texture done, and I will need to reduce the size. So you need to ignore the texture size. Then also you want to keep its aspect in the center. So just increase this. This should do. Also want to give a bit of spacing. Want it to be aligned with this. So on the Y24 and set 24 for this two. So they are both aligned properly. Alright, we have our button done. Now let's work on our first screen. So we'll add a color rect node. So want there to be like a little bit of fade, like a black background, but just faded a little to make this black, and we reduce this. All right, I'm going to rename this to pause screen. Then we'll add a texture rect. Set this to the center. This texture, a new atlas texture. We'll drag the window.png to the atlas property, and this should be a pause, yes. So this how our full screen is going to look a little like, but without the um, music and sound button. So we'll make use of this to and set this to no texture size and keep its aspect centered. Now let's increase the size. Right. Then we'll add the texture rate again, and this will be for our first text. So once again in Atlas texture, drag this here. Select the first text. So set is anchored to the center top. Then while holding shift, you can drag this down. Alright. Okay. So this is looking good. Mm, Then as a child of this, we need to add a vertical box container. Right. Then I just want it to cover this aspect of our screen. So we drag the size here. Okay. Then you can place the anchor point to touch H4 corners of the vertical box. Then I'm going to add a texture button, right? And rename this to resume button. Okay, now we need to add the texture. Create a new Atlas texture, drag the button of PNG, select this, normal, do for the rest. Mm. And we're going to enable the ignore texture size. Also, we want to keep the aspect centered, and also we'll go to the layout, container sizing, and enable the vertical expand property. Right. Let's add a label. Set the label to take its full rect. I'm going to toggle on the uppercase property, type resume, set its text to the center, and let's equip our text. So first is the font, drag the any bold font to set the size to 28. I also want outline. So let's give it a little bit of outline. Color will be will be C. Yeah, so this looks good. Right. Now what we just need to do is duplicate this 2 more times and just need to rename our button. So this is going to be our restart button. This is going to be the exit button. So if we want to go back to our level select screen, this is what we're going to click. Just change the text, this to exit. Right, great. Now let's turn off the uppercase property. It looks a lot better like this. Yeah. So we have our full screen done, but let's actually work on our level complete screen, because we're also going to do it here in our HUD. Then we can begin writing our code. So for our level complete screen, I'm going to add a texture rect. I'm going to rename this to level complete. And then for the assets, we'll make use of the bg.png file. Drag that there, drag that to the texture property, and set this to ignore size. Let it take its full rect. Yeah. Okay. And we'll add a new texture rect as its child, and this is going to be placed at the center. We'll create a new atlas, and we want to drag the windows.png. Our level complete. Let's say we'll make use. Okay, let's make use of this. Okay, yes, something like this is what we would like to use. Maybe this. I think this looks a lot better. Then just going to set this to ignore size and this to keep its aspect centered. And kind of looking for something like this, but a little. We'll just manage this. So we set its anchor to the center. Then we'll add as a child a different texture rate, and this is going to be for, let's just call it a ribbon, which is just a text. Create a new atlas and drag the windows.png. This region. We'll select this ribbon. Okay. Make this to glow size. This again to keep as space centered. We just scale the ribbon, enter top, just drag this where you want to place. Yeah. And the last texture rate now is going to be for the text. So all these, we need to change the snap mode to gray snap, and we'll just snap this entire text right here. Right? Great. And again, set this to ignore size. We'll keep our text centered. Yeah. So all placed perfectly. And now, as a child of this texture, right, you need to add a new texture. Right? This is going to be where we're going to display how many points we earned in that level, in the level we played. Let's see. We'll make use of this. Right. Center. Right. We'll add a label. Label, we want it to take this area. So what we just need to do is just drag this and fit it to the area you want it to take, and drag the anchor point. Yep. Then keep its text centered. and let's go change its size. 25 should do. Yep, I think that should do. And so maybe a little bit of an outline. Alright. Now we need to add a horizontal bus container, and this is where we're going to place our home screen, level, select, and the next level button. So we need to then I'm going to add a texture button. We name this to home button to create our atlas. Add our button file. Then we'll enable the no texture size and keep aspect centered button. Also, you set the horizontal um with container sizing property enabled. Let's duplicate this two more times. This is going to be for our level select button, and this is our next level button. Alright, now we just need to really change the atlas for this other one. So make this unique, and level select should probably be here. Yeah. Okay. So we have all that set up. Let's increase. Yes. I think this looks fine. Let's increase it just a little. Bottom. Try this. Alright. So with that, we've worked on our full screen and our level complete screen for our mobile game. Now let's just add in a fade screen. So I want the screen to fade um, when we want to transition to a different level. Now for our script, let's start by um, connecting the resume, restart, and exit button. Or let's wait on that. First off, we need to change this our health box container. So this is now the health point container to this. Yeah. Then you need to get our health point container the already variable for this, and also for our pause screen and our level complete screen. Right now, I want to just define a variable for point count. This is going to be to store how many coins we've taken in a level. Then whatever coin we've um, collected in this level, we add it to the total coin count in our on-screen autoload. By the way, this is supposed to be one to the current level. Um, let's see. So when we start the game, I want, I always want my coin count value to always reset back to 0. Then we want to connect the level completed signal. So event dot level completed dot connect, and we'll connect this to a on level completed method, which we need to define that right here, and we just leave as for now. So mm, let's connect the pause button. Yes. So when we want to pause our game, oh, let's start with our level completed signal. So connect the um home button. I'll change this to go to home. Alright. Then we'll need to access this as a unique name, and we'll call our fader dot feed screen method, and pass this as true. Feed the screen, and we'll create a lambda function, and we'll say symmetry, which we'll need to define. So already symmetry equals to get string symmetry dot change sim. Now our let's get the path to our home screen. Then just our main screen. Drag this here. Alright. And so with that, our home button should take us to our main screen. our level select. We say go to level underscore select. Connect this. Simply just need to copy this and paste this right here. And the only thing we need to change is the path. So just pass the path to the level select thing here and delete that of the main screen. So we click this, um, we click this to take us to our home screen as the main screen, this to our level select screen. And when we click this should take us to our next level, which shouldn't be hard as well. We go to next underscore level. All right. I'm going to click the next level. Just pass part to where that is why you should just save all your levels in a single folder. Then we say pass a part, and we just simply need to change this value here. I will say plus, we have to concatenate string, um, plus string. I will say event dot our current level we are in, plus 1. So we will get to um, create a string of our next level. Then we're going to say file dot access dot if our level, the next level exists. Next level. If this does exist, we then want to set our current level. We just need to concatenate this with by 1 and our fade screen. Just change this from part to next level. Alright, that's easy enough. Let's work on our restart button. So we'll say let's rename our method to restart game. And when we want to restart our game, we want to set the coin count to 0. Set game first, because in case our game, when we pause our screen, we want to unpause the game, right? Then just reload the currency. Let's create a method for this. So set game pause. This is going to receive a boolean variable. So we simply say string dot post is equals to value. Also, you want to make um, to go to your post screen and you want to change the process mode to always. So even when um, the game is paused, you can still the pause screen will still be running and you can click our button. Then we'll say we'll change the visibility of our pause screen. Then also when we pause our game, we want to hide our players button. So let's check for our player. Let's open our player scene. Then in our Canva layer, we're going to go to group. We set this to create a group called button container, right? And let's go back to our HUD. And what we just want to do is change the visibility. So say century.all group, proprietary group name, our button container, alright, and method will pass the height, which is the height, the usual height method, and if the value is true, we want to hide our button container, else we want to show, right? Then last off our pause button, we also want to change the visibility. So when we're paused, when the game is being paused, we don't want to see our pause button. So not valid. Alright. Then working on our result game should be easy enough. All we just need to do is all the set game pause method and pass pause as its argument. Then also when our pause button is being pressed, so pause underscore game, we want to set game pause is equals to true. Alright, so we also need to change this when we collect a coin, we want to add that coin to our coin count. So just add the value to our coin count. Then also the coin label, change this here. Alright, and we just change this to display the coin count. Last one is our on level complete. So once our level is completed and this signal is being emitted, the level completed signal, we want to set the coin. So let's set, I think setting the coin first. Going to access is a unique name is here. Yes, let's change the label. So it's read changes to money label dot text is equals to string coin count. So we'll set the label to the coin count we collected from that level. Then we also want to add the coin we collected to the total coin. So plus equals to, we're going to add the coin count to our total coin. Then we also want to set next level equals to events dot current level plus one. Um, then if event dot level data dot as the next level, we want to unlock that next level. So event dot level data as the next level, and the locked property. So we're going to set this locked property to false, which is going to unlock that level false. Then we want to display our level completed screen. Let's create a function for that. Display level completed. Okay. Um, so the first thing we want to do whenever we reach the last level, right? So let me just open the level selecting. So let's say we're on the last level, and once we've completed this last level, we don't want to display this next level button as because we don't have any other level to play again. So what we just have to do is to say event dot current level, and we check if this is less than event dot level data dot size, and if all this return true, we want to place our level, our next level button. I think uniquely level button dot visible, and we'll set this to 4. Then also, just in case we have our pause screen visible for some reason, we set this to false too. Our pause button, pause button as well, set ability to false. What again? Our health container. Um, our health pause container dot visible. We set this to false as well. And lastly, we want to display our level complete screen. So set this to true. One more thing as well, when we complete our level, we also don't want to see our post, our the button, right? So we don't want to see the layout button. So we can just copy this here, and when the level is completed, this right here. So, yeah. Actually, so just need to say hi, oh, hi that by okay, okay. So we need to copy this off also. Okay, but now if you press our jump button again, see it works. So great. Let's right completing this level. Can design it a little more. Just one. And yeah. However, our next level button isn't displaying. But let's go to our okay, so you can see our total point. We also didn't unlock the next. All right. So I think this is happening because of um we haven't saved all the levels. So currently, I think there's no value in our level data, which is what we're supposed to work on when we are saving our game. So if I were to print event dot level data here, when we complete our game, is this right? So you see, it's just an empty dictionary, and so when next up we'll work on the save and load for our game. All right, so welcome back to the last chapter of building your first mobile 2D game in Godot. And in the previous chapter, we worked on the pause screen and level complete screen for our game. And now what we want to work on is saving and loading our game. So first off, go to your script. We're going to create a new script. I'll call this file manager. File manager. This is going to inherit from a node. Don't need this as an auto load. I'm just going to save this right here. Add a class name file manager, right? Then I'm going to say const. We want to declare a save path variable. So say save underscore path, and this is going to be stored in user dot save game dot a data file. Then we're going to declare a function from save, and this function is going to return a dictionary, and this dictionary is going to hold our total coin, so the data we need to save, which are just the total amount of coin the player has gathered and the level data, that is what level he has unlocked. So say total coin, event dot total coin. Right, so we store the total coin variable, then level data. We already have that to event dot level data, so that will return the save dictionary. Right, now we'll find a function on save game, and we're going to, first thing, we want to open our save file, right? So say file access dot open, and we need to pass the path. So pass the save path as its argument, and we want to write in this file. We will say save file. Just going to create a very simple, I will say store value, and we'll call our save function. Or you can also just say save, whichever way is fine. Just leave it like this. Then we're going to, so this alone, just this two lines should save our game. Then conclude as void as this argument. Then we're going to check if the file exists. So does the file exist? Needs a path. And if our file doesn't exist, let's call the save game method, have a function method, and return out of this function. Then else, if this exists, we want to the save file, we define a variable save file. Then let's open of the file. If pass, then we want to read file access read. Want to read the data in the file. And declare second variable save underscore data is equal to save file dot get file, which returns the next variant value from the file, which is just going to be this dictionary. Then we'll say event dot total point equals to save data dot is our total point value. Then we'll say event dot level data, and we want to pass an empty dictionary if save data dot our level data dot is underscore empty. Alright, else we want to say save data, and we'll pass assign the level data to its value. And with that, this should save and load our game. Yep, let's test this out. Oh, oh, sorry. We need to do this in our HUD scene. So let's start with our HUD, and also Ctrl Shift open our level select screen. So we're going to instance our file. Okay, so add a node, just a node thing, rename this to file manager. Alright, then going to access as a unique name, then just drag the file manager script here. Great. And now in our level select screen, whenever the game is ready, after connected all this, we want to see our file manager dot load game. So we'll call our load game method, and in our HUD we'll do the same as well. Add a main node rename to file manager. Okay, drag this script, access as a unique name, and whenever we complete our level, okay, then mm, just after we've unlocked, we save this, so we've unlocked the next level, then we want to say file manager save. Okay, now with this we can run our game. So as you can see, previously we've unlocked the last level before. So if I say this, do this, okay, 300 coin. This should have updated to 300. So the problem is we're actually calling the save instead of the save game. That's why. So actually it's supposed to be save game. And once we try this once again, this should work. So now we have 300 coins. And right, so we see save this. Let's test if our next level button is working. So, yeah. So that's it for this video. Um, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.